We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hejaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits in the Formula One calendar, Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at a topographical map of the Jeddah Street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Jacques Villeneuve lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Ocon, Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Albon, Gasly, Stroll, Liam Lawson, Hauger, Joe, Phoenix, Sargent, Perez, Ricciardo, Bottas, Tsunoda, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And now, it's time to head down to the track. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn one. A bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going. Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please. Copy. Sergeant's behind you. Okay, that's not an ideal placement in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch at the race start. Tyre condition still looking good. Start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. Good stuff, we've moved into P8. P8 now. I didn't catch that, mate. Just say it again. They're in second. Okay, so the gap is 5.2 seconds. Your last lap time was a 1:37.5. Gap to your teammate ahead is 5.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. And the time last lap was a 1:37.2. Piastri's behind you now. Okay, gap to the car behind. 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just one lap old. Okay, we think they've got two stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:41.5. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Verstappen's ahead of you. Less than a second separates you. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:38.3. It's Hamilton ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 2 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was a 1:37.9. Right, you're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap. Say that again, we're having trouble receiving you. That's P7 now, P7. Hamilton's ahead of you. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Verstappen behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 1.5 seconds. Our gap to first place is 6.9 seconds. We're currently trailing our teammate by 6.8 seconds. Okay, the static over the radio. Say it again. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 0.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1 minute 37.1. This is great stuff. We're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Is behind you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:38.3. You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. that. I've got some interference here. Didn't receive that. Repeat the message. Repeat the message. No tyre concerns at the moment. Just focus on the driving. Ocon ahead. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 1.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. And the time last lap was 1 minute 36.9. We're gaining by around 2 tenths per lap. Keep going. Gap to your teammate ahead is 7.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. Time last lap was 1:36.3. Nice move, good job. Okay, 2 stops left now, 2 stops. And that's 6 laps till your pit window's open. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 2.0 seconds. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was 1 minute 36.9. This is brilliant. You're taking 2.5 seconds out of them each lap. And the gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds. Verstappen's out in front. Trailing our teammate by 7.3 seconds. available on the MFD. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it.
And it looks like the pit crew are out in the lane and ready to perform their magic on the car. They're going to be aiming to achieve the fastest pit stop time possible.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Okay, we think the underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment, just be careful. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of it. Gap to your teammate ahead is 39.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. And the time last lap was a 1:36.6. The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it. It's Ricardo ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 5.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. Okay, we think they've got two stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:39.0. Our gap to the car in front is 4.1 seconds. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. place. Okay, that's put us up into P11, keep it going. Okay, that's Lawson ahead of you. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 3.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've done 15 laps on those tyres. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Your last lap time was a 1:37.8. You're closing in by 3 seconds a lap. Brilliant, nice move, keep going. Currently trailing our teammate by 28.4 seconds. They're on old mediums, they're in first, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 36.6. Piastri ahead. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 6.8 seconds. They're on old mediums, their tyres are 16 laps old. Okay, we think they've got 2 stops remaining. Time last lap was a 1:37.5. You're closing in by 3 seconds a lap. Sat in P8, well done. Leclerc is ahead of you. They're on old mediums. That's Albon behind you. Okay, push, gap to the car behind, 0.0 seconds. Okay, gap to leader, 26.9 seconds. Okay, so the car behind's just come in. They're now on a soft tyre. Soft tyres on the car behind. Okay, Jax is coming in for his stop now. Teammate ahead is 22.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in second. They're in first. The difference is 2.3 seconds. The last lap time was a 1 minute 38.2. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Okay, your pit window opens in 9 laps time. The gap on the car behind by 5/10 a lap. That's Jacques ahead of you now. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:34.5. Okay, we're dropping back by around 4/10 a lap. Give it everything you got. tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. You only have to stop once now, one stop left. And that's 6 laps until your pit window's open. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. Okay, Jacques is ahead. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 3.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1 minute 34.8. Come on, mate, you're down by 0.8 a lap. What have you got? Behind starting to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it. Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip any time now. Please repeat, you're breaking up. Okay, one stop to go, just one stop left in this strategy. You've got 4 laps until your pit window opens. Caution! Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, clear. Norris behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 20.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:36.6. They're in fourth, and so the difference is 22.7 seconds. And the time last lap was a 1:35.6. I didn't catch that, mate. Just say it again. Norris is behind you. Our gap behind is 19.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 8 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:36.6. We're currently trailing our teammate by 7.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. Your last lap time was a 1:35.2. You're losing 2 seconds a lap to the car behind. 2 seconds. Say that again, we're having trouble receiving you. Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy. Okay, your pit window opens next lap. Norris behind. Okay, the gap behind is 17.3 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:36.2. In this lap, push now. Gap to your teammate ahead is 11.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in first. Time last lap was a 1:35.3. Norris is behind you, and the gap behind us is 16.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 11 laps old now. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:36.4. Okay, be aware the car behind is catching you by 5/10 a lap, 5/10. Okay, the static over the radio, say it again. Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap. Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres. Ocon is ahead of you, and gap to the car in front is 1.9 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 35.9. We're currently trailing our teammate by 33.7 seconds. Car behind by 8.1 seconds. Verstappen has the lead. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Okay, Russell's ahead. Okay, gap ahead is 0.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 12 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:36.4. Ocon behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 1.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. We think they've got one more stop. The last lap time was a 1:36.8. Okay, some information on Norris. They've got some kind of mechanical problem. Gap to your teammate ahead is 31.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in first. And the time last lap was a 1:35.5. Russell behind. Okay, car behind trailing us 2.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:36.5. Okay, it's sat in P2. Our gap to the car in front is 30.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Ocon's behind you. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 16 laps to go. Norris behind. Okay, push. Gap to the car behind. 11.4 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Their tyres are 17 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. They seem to have an issue. The last lap time was a 1:39.2. currently trailing our teammate by 29.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in first. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 35.4. Norris is behind you. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 18.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:38.5. They're currently fifth, and the gap is 26.7 seconds. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 34.5. Second place, we're in second place. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 28.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Our gap behind is 26.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Jax is in the pits. Jax is in the pits now. Russell behind. Okay, the gap behind is 24.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres, and the time last lap was a 1:34.4. Repeat that, I've got some interference here. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid. Okay, roger that. Soft tyres at the next pit stop. Okay, you're sat in P2. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 6.9 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Okay, Russell's behind you now. And the gap behind us is 24.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. 13 laps to go. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap. Russell behind. We're leading the car behind by 23.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. Time last lap was a 1 minute 34.7. Look after these tyres now, and you want to finish the race on this compound. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. Right, the safety car's waiting for the leader. You can overtake it. Overtake the safety car. Good work, we're in P4. Ocon ahead. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 7.4 seconds. They're on fresh soft. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 3.7 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. The distance to the leader is 43.4 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And 11 laps to go. Verstappen behind you now. Okay, car behind trailing us, 1.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The last lap time was a 1:38.5. Gap to your teammate ahead is 47.8 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're in first. And the time last lap was a 1 minute 44.8. Ocon is ahead of you. Okay, so the gap to the car ahead, 5.2 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. Time last lap was a 1:47.1. Safety car in this lap, safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags. Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind, so let's keep pushing. Okay, clear. Understood. Stopping this lap. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Confirmed. Russell's ahead of you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Your last lap time was a 1:36.7. Alright, you're falling back by 1/10 a lap. Okay, you've got P3, well done. That's Russell just ahead, push for the position. And gap to the car in front is 1.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums, Ocon behind. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, so gap to the leader is 3.7 seconds. The pit window is open, pit window currently open. Okay, 7 laps to go. Okay, we're down to our last 10 laps of fuel. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Okay, push, gap to the car behind. 2.0 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 12 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1:34.4. gap to your teammate behind is 5.6 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're in third. The time last lap was a 1 minute 37.8. Didn't receive that. Repeat the message. Repeat the message. Russell behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 5.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 16 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:36.2. That's a race win and your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
They've delivered an outstanding performance today under intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top three finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today. So let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Phoenix increases their championship lead. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Phoenix.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The owner-drivers team moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.